Woohoo! We're back again with completing the square, but this time we're going to do things in vertex form. So, before you get all excited about how difficult the last video was, completing the square for vertex form is much easier. You don't have to deal with the big old square roots and plus or minuses or anything like that. What we're going to do now is just rearrange an equation so it is in vertex form. So one of the earlier chapters, you were doing a lot of graphing with quadratics. So what we're going to do for this video is show you how to go from standard form to vertex form of a quadratic equation. So ready? Let's go. First thing you're going to do, just like when solving, is you need to move the -3 or the +3 to the other side. Now, I've seen people do this in different ways, and I have found that more people make less mistakes when you just kind of continue the whole moving it to the other side of the equation. Theoretically, you'd be moving it to that side, so you have y minus 3, but don't worry. We're going to show you how we're going to bring this all back to life. So the first thing, you have to move the constant to the other side. Now, half of 6 is 3 squared is 9, so you have to add 9 to both sides, just like what you had to do back in the day. So now, you're just going to have y is equal to x squared, x plus 3, in parentheses, squared, because we just wrote that as the square of a binomial, and that's equal to 6. Now, vertex form, remember, that's x minus h squared plus k. So you just have to bring that back over. Y is equal to x plus 3 squared minus 6. And you have a vertex at -3, -6, just like back in the day. But that's it. It's much easier to move something into vertex form, okay? Next example, the first thing you have to do is factor out a -3 after moving the 5 to the other side. So we're going to have a -3 x squared plus 6x is equal to 5. Divide out a -3. It's always a leading coefficient because the beginning has to be x squared. So minus 2x and plus half of 2 is 1 squared is 1. And remember, this is a -3 times 1, so we're actually going to subtract 3 from the right as well. So that's going to leave us with a -3 parentheses. So this can be written as x, half of a -2 is a -1 squared. That's equal to 2. And now we just have to write it, subtract the 2 back over, and we have y is equal to a -3 times x minus 1 squared minus 2 with a vertex of 1, -2. Okay, so that's vertex form. It's a lot easier. You're not doing any square roots of imaginary numbers or anything. It's just one additional step. After you complete the square, you just have to subtract it back over to the other side. Go ahead and pause the video and try this guy. You will have a fraction, but it's just going to stay as an easy fraction. You're not going to be taking any square roots of it or anything like that. So pause the video and give it a try. So the first thing you would have done is 2x squared plus 5x is equal to 9. Factor out your 2, you have 2, and then you would have x squared plus 5 halves x. Half of 5 halves is 5/4. Squared is 25/16. And of course, on the other side, you would have to add 25/8 instead of 25/16. Remember, you always have to multiply that guy in. So on this side, you have 2 times, and you have x. Half of 5 halves would be 5/4 squared. And then this guy over here would be 72/8 plus 25. 72 and 25 would be 97/8. So then you would just have to subtract that back over to the other side, throw your y equals back in front, and you have y is equal to 2 times x plus 5/4 squared minus 97/8 with a vertex at negative 5/4, comma, negative 97/8. Okay? And again, it's just writing it in vertex form. Once we got to this part, that's when things got crazy. We would have to square root both sides. We'd have the square root of 97 over the square root of 2 root 2. So you'd have the square root of, 194. Or it would have just been crazy. So right now, we're just done. You just have to move that back over to the left. No dividing by 2 and all that crazy stuff. Okay? So that's it for this video on writing an equation in vertex form using completing the square. This is Longo, and I'm out. See you, bye.